So you might have seen the video tutorial on making the brown wave. And if you haven't, then I'll have to figure out how to put like a little link, up in the video so you can go see it. Then what I did is that I took my roller and I made it into a rectangle. Let me see, let's bring it up a little bit. You can also roll the top of your cane to prevent the ends from getting all dog bony. Okay, I wanted to show you a trick that I think is going to work for making the canes the right width to be able to slice, to be able to press, to cover a pen. It's just an idea. Okay. So it doesn't matter. These are these old, the recycled big round sticks. Doesn't matter. Every pen is going to be different because every pen's like a different diameter. Okay. So take some scrap clay and roll it until it touches the edge, and remember to cut. See that little line there? Can you see the line? The line's right here. Cut on the inside of that line to take into consideration the thickness of the clay. Now I'm not going to press this because I want to take it off. But if I did press it, it would be a nice flush seam. So that's the width that we need to make the cane. And that's the width that this cane almost is. So we're going to press it a little more. Whoopee. Is that the width? Maybe we can pull it. Now this is a theory, okay? Now it's getting, I can feel it getting a little dog bony in here. So the first slice is we're just gonna get to a smooth, undimpled surface right here. Okay. So then we're going to make effort to cut an even slice. Okay. And this is too wide. So we push it in. Okay, we use that as our measure. We can probably make those and cure them and just have them around. And people say, "What's that?" "Oh, that's my pen measuring piece of clay." Okay. Now, let's see if this works. I'm going to press this. Holding my fingers beside the clay bit to sort of keep it from stretching sideways, out sideways. Okay? So we've got one press. It's still, let's see, is it still, okay, we're good. So I think that we're safe to say we can thin this. Because the pen doesn't really need to have that thick of a cover. Okay, now let's see. Whoopee. Okay, might want to straighten out the edges. Make a party. Okay, check the measure. check the measure. Close enough. Okay. Figure out which side looks nicest. I think that side looked nicest, so this side goes in. Now, if we did it right, it should meet. And it pretty much does. Just about. Now, remember, when you have the cover that's slightly bigger than the pen, it's okay, because you can. Now this is coming down a little ways, but you can mash it, push that excess air upways. Make sure you mash it all the way around. Mash, mash, mash. And there we go. That's one section, and we can just like cover the top. I also found that this round Kemper cutter tool is just the right size to, I'm going to show you, cut out a round bit and put it on the top. Fits real nicely. So if you're fastidious about, I don't want my top to be all folded over like a dim sum noodle bag. Okay. Okay, so that was one. Let's do it again and hope we're okay. Okay. Again, try to cut nice even slice. Relatively the same thickness as before. See, and it's a little wider than our. So we push it in, push it in, push it in, push it in, stretch it out a little bit. And this way, I think that this is better than pressing it out and cutting it to make this, because you get a lot of scrap. I remember reading a story, I think it was Pearl S. Buck's The Good Earth, and the mommy protagonist was so proud when she made her firstborn son's little baby outfit that she was so frugal with her cutting, so judicious with her cutting, that the scraps that was left over can fit in the palm of her hand. And I always thought, that's really cool. Okay, I'm going to press this and then press it again at a narrower setting. I'm not going to move the camera because you've seen it before. Seen it once. You've seen it. Okay. Push it in, push it in, push it in, push it in, push it in. When you push it in, stretch it out. When you push it in, stretch it out, because when you push it in, you're making the middle part thicker. Okay. That should do it. So, count to 3 and make a wish. I don't know why I say that. It's like, I wish I was a fish. If wishes were fishes, I'd be down at the beach peeling potatoes for French fries for our fish and chips. Okay. So that's good. So this is one way of reducing your cane to a size that when sliced and pressed will fit around the pens that you're using without a whole lot of wastage, without a whole lot of salvage, so you can be as frugal as that protagonist in Pearlesque Bucks the Good Earth, whose name escapes me at this moment, but that's okay. Alright, so now we just do one more. They have machines, you know, that will cut cane super perfecto mundo. And I mean, they look like guillotines. Fancy. Fancy clay guillotines. I'd be so tempted to just like use them in a mini scene and chopping the heads off of one of my little figures. But it's definitely not something that within my clay budget. I mean, one of the reasons why I like polymer clay is that it really is for glamour on a budget, because, you know, what runs about $2 an ounce. We don't need a kiln, because I used to work in earth clay. You had to get a kiln, and you had to fire it, you had the firing cones, and you had to have different kinds of glaze, and oh god, man, it was just like, plus it was cold and wet, and it was just like expensive and unpleasant. Okay, we're going to have a bit of salvage using sewing terms. I find bits of hair in my clay, because I'm using like old clay that's been like bumping around the bottom of my supply drawer since forever. But we're going to have a bit of salvage on this. But that's okay. May as well cut off the excess now. Beep. Okay. And so there it is. And since this is tapered, we're going to have a little bit of excess. Oh, just hum a few bars and fake it. There we go. Okay, so that was my trick theory of taking a bit of clay to measure how wide the cane needs to be, and this is, let's force an autofocus here. This is the brown wave cane. It's in another tutorial, and this is how we got this pen. Whoopee. How we got this pen covered with 3 slices and not a lot of wastage. You can do this with any cane. Measure how wide you need it, reduce the cane to the size that it needs to be reduced, slice, and there you go.